are live. Episode 30. Guys, it's going to be another fun one. Going to be taking you back to Europe. We are headed to Germany, a fascinating fascinating country to travel, a beautiful place. Going to be taking you to one of my best friends from traveling, Raj, who is originally from India, now living in Berlin. I would consider him an expert on Germany travel as well as the best things to do in Berlin. And I will introduce you to him now. He has joined. Let's get here. Let's get to Berlin, Germany. Fingers crossed. There he is. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
So good, so good, so good. So, introduce yourself, your name, where you are, and how we met.
So my name's Raj Simon. Everyone calls me Simba because my name means the Lion King, so you know that. And yeah, I'm from Chennai in South India. So I've been in Berlin since 3 years now, studying here. So
Yeah,
going good so far.
and
And
we,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been a while since we spoke, right?
It's been a minute, but we guys. So we met way back when Raj hosted me when I came through Berlin the first time on my travels, and
Yes.
I was going through, and I want to say a fun fact about Raj: you're the only couch surfing host I've ever stayed with twice, which is pretty
Oh,
incredible. Like he's that much of a legend, and so Raj is the man. And no, I'm so glad you reached out, and no, we've been great friends ever since. So
yeah.
let's dive into this. What's life like in Berlin, Germany right now? How has COVID-19 affected
Um,
Germany?
I mean, personally, me and my circle of friends from the university, we all are staying home.
Hmm.
The university and all the other uh, restaurants, cafes, etc., they all were shut down 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I think the universities got shut down in the first, schools, universities, and all the public offices. They went into kind of uh, reduced contact with people, and the universities gradually they shut down completely.
Yeah.
And uh, my girlfriend's still working. She's a dentist, and she's
Wow, they're still
still
open.
yeah.
Interesting.
The dental association, they've not yet shut it down, kind of.
Hmm.
But she says a lot of clinics are operating only in emergency mode now, so they accept only emergency patients who are in pain or something. But on the other hand, I also see that a lot of people are going out on the streets and
Yeah.
hanging out in parks and stuff. So yeah, even though Germany is number 4 in the list of countries which are the most affected, I don't think people are taking it that seriously.
Hmm.
So last week the government kind of put together a catalog of fines and stuff.
They
So
did. I was gonna ask. Okay, interesting. So they are finding
yes,
people now.
no,
Huh.
the catalog is there, and the police and the Ordnungsamt, the office which controls whether people are following the rules or not, those people are supposed to control it now. So yeah, I heard rumors that the Ordnungsamt people are walking around and stopping people, asking why they're out. And yeah, so the rules also say that you are supposed to stay in your apartment. If they find you in others apartment, they can fine you 500 euros for it. So
Oh wow, so they are in place, not necessarily enforced yet. Interesting. So, and
yeah.
I tell you what, like it's springtime, right? Coming into summertime in Berlin, which is like the best time in that city. Seriously, right? I mean,
Oh,
you guys have some intense winter, some cold, dark winters,
but
and so
this time it was not that. It was
that's
not
good.
that.
That's good. But summertime in Berlin is like the time. Everybody's outside. It's
Yeah,
it's so much fun to be there.
yeah,
And so hopefully the summer can be enjoyed by everyone, not only
yeah.
Germans but travelers that come through. So I mean, I'm assuming like the all the essential shops like grocery stores are still open. Of course, hospitals. Is it? Do they have like? Has it been interesting? Have you visited a grocery store at all? Is it pretty crazy?
Of course. When this the virus started spreading in Italy and like southern parts of Germany, people started going nuts.
Hmm.
And I went to like I think in the beginning of April, I went into a grocery store near my place, and I saw a dude with two push carts, like two full push carts of pasta. I didn't know what was happening then, so I thought like he must be from some restaurant or something. I went, I looked for sugar was empty, salt was empty, and they're like, no, everything is sold out. And I thought, okay, I don't know what's happening, so I bought whatever I wanted, and then I came back home. But then I started seeing toilet paper was going, and toilet
Yeah.
paper was empty everywhere, and it was kind of super crazy what was happening. So
Yeah, yeah, it's too fun.
yeah,
Pasta and toilet paper are the trends of the world. I
yeah.
mean, for real. I mean, for most of the world, right? Some of Asia, toilet paper doesn't matter. They've got other ways to do it.
Yeah, they got other stuff, but here kind of it's difficult.
But in Europe, United States, yes, it's a hot
Yes,
commodity. Oh
I
man,
mean
is it?
it was not as bad as Walmart or videos from Walmart where people were pulling each other's hair. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like there's literally been fights in the United States over toilet
Yeah,
paper. It's that
so I
America,
guess
America, baby.
uh-huh.
We love to be number one in everything, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, we're number one in cases as well. It's like, come on, guys. Some things we don't
uh-huh.
want to be competitive in. But all right, enough about COVID-19. Let's dive into travel. You've been there for 3 years. In your opinion, we can talk. I mean, let's dive into Berlin. What are the top three must-see spots if people come to Berlin? And if you want to cast the net, you could even talk about Germany as a whole. So
I mean, I did travel last year. So after 2 years of not going anywhere, last year was
yeah.
the first time I went around. Like I had a friend visiting me from India.
Oh,
So
cool.
me, him, and my girlfriend, like we took a small trip. So we hit uh, Czech Republic and then Austria, then traveled back into Germany,
Awesome.
went all the way to Switzerland, and then yeah, so came back to Berlin. So yeah,
Very
it
good.
was really nice.
Did you
And yeah,
where'd you hit? Did you travel around Germany as well?
yeah, in the southern parts of Germany, like I mean, I think you missed this, so I think you can plan Germany part three soon.
Yeah, exactly. I need to,
So
man.
we can do
It's
something
a fun
like this.
country. Yeah.
So it was. I mean, talking about Berlin, the top three things that you have to do in Berlin, going partying, like
Yes.
going partying
Yes.
in Berlin. I don't think it's same. I mean, you can't find these kind of vibes or like the parties that happen here anywhere else in the world.
And
So
it's not the type of partying that you get in South America or even North America.
yeah.
Berlin is very different.
Yeah, you have traveled,
Like
I think, more than 100 countries. So
it is
when I say Berlin is different, I think you agree to it. I think
totally like how do we keep this G rate? I don't know, guys. Like I mean, honestly, there's like Berlin is one of the few places in the world that has like sex clubs. There's
yes,
like there if you wanna dive in and research it, there's a place called Kit Kat. I've personally never been. Had some friends who had interesting experiences, but it's just like Berlin is unique when it comes to nightlife, and so yeah. But on top of that, they're also incredibly strict on who they let in. So some of these
yes,
clubs will have
yes,
specific dress codes, or if you show up with too many people, or not
yeah.
enough guys, not enough girls, like
Or
it's
if you're laughing too much, if you're smiling too much, or if you're on the phone too
exactly.
much,
They're
yeah,
insanely strict in Berlin. So not all,
yeah,
like, and I think that's just part of it, just to make it like very mysterious. Like, oh, are we gonna get in tonight? But then
yeah.
on top of that, if you get inside, you're gonna see things that
Someone,
you'll never.
someone saying since I hosted you twice, I should come back to Texas, and they reciprocate.
That's
So
my mom. My
thank
mom's
you.
watching, of course.
Hi,
She
hi.
knows all about you. You will meet her someday. And yeah, of course. You've always
Of
got a
course,
place
I'm
to stay
gonna
in
do
Texas.
that.
So yes, okay.
USA is
Berlin,
on the
number one
bucket list.
thing, partying. If you want a
Partying,
crazy
yes,
party, definitely
yes.
do that in Berlin. What's number two?
And number two, I think the walking tours are quite good. Like there are an insane number of walking tours, which like take you to. There are drinking tours, there are architecture tours, there are tours which you go see to see the sites, like which the tourist sites, and So I kind of like doing that every now and then, and most of the tours are free. So I mean, free in the sense you donate what you want at the end.
Right.
So
Right.
I kind of like doing that, and yeah, I think I went with you once, and I
We
took
did.
another. Yeah. So
Ex-
yes, we did. Yeah, we did one of the walking tours. Yeah. So it was me, you, and Katie, I think.
exactly. That was
And
with Berlin. Yep. Yeah.
yeah, there's my girlfriend there. Hi.
yes. All right. And number three, in your opinion, must see in Berlin.
Number three, I think the food. I mean, the food is you get really all kinds of stuff here, like from all over the world. But compared to the rest of Europe, well, it's cheap, really cheap.
Yeah.
And so, and yeah, I have my restaurants. Like I have a map. So I think I shared it with you as well. So yeah, it was. I have a map which I have put together where I tried all the restaurants and then I rated on the map. So like it's curated by me. So
That's amazing. And he is
yeah.
quite the foodie. And not only quite the foodie, quite the chef. So this guy, when you talk food, you're talking
Uh-huh.
to a professional. I think, in my opinion, another fun thing to do in Berlin is the parks. I
Oh
mean, in
yeah,
the summer, it's a very outdoorsy city. There's some great parks. There's one of them is like a former airport that they converted into a park,
yeah.
which is pretty neat to walk around. Of course,
I mean,
you know,
when you come back, you should go to that airport and do the tours. The airport has a guided tour inside, and
Ah.
it's creepy as fuck.
yeah,
See some of the parts where like the it got burnt, like someone set fire inside, and they still have it like that, so it's not
yeah,
renovated or something. So
yeah.
and the
And
architecture
Yeah,
for
well, I was
this.
gonna say the architecture, like you said, the walking tour. They're gonna take you to the famous spots. There are a lot of buildings and museums that are worth your time in Berlin, and luckily on
Yes.
the walking
So,
tours, they're gonna take you there.
a good tip would be that, like, for the Berlin museums, there's a 3-day museum card which gives you access to, I think, 29 museums.
Hmm.
No, I think it's more museums, but it costs 29 euros for 3 days. So I think that's a really good thing to buy when you're here. And
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, I think but by now you already know, Berlin, you can't just do it in 2 days or 3 days. You need more time to
No,
see.
definitely.
Yeah,
No,
and
exactly.
one place which I would really recommend everyone who's watching to go to is the Memorial for the Murdered Jews. It's right next to the Brandenburger Tor, and
Yeah.
it makes you think. It makes you introspect so much. So I think
It's very
I
powerful spot,
that's
and it's
yeah, it's a
one
very
on the
powerful
walking tour. They
spot.
do take you there.
Yes,
So
they
yeah,
not on all walking tours. So
okay.
yeah, not on all walking tours.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Berlin Wall. That's a must. Checkpoint Charlie. I mean, it's fat. There's a section still.
Checkpoint Charlie is no longer kind of a tourist spot anymore because they chased away all the people who were dressed up as
Oh,
guards
no
and
way!
charging people for photos. So I think
No way. Okay,
they
so
they
Checkpoint
banned
Charlie,
them.
not so much,
Not
but
so much. East
but
Side Gallery.
the East
East
Side
Side
Gallery,
Gallery.
that's the famous part of the wall they've left up that now have beautiful murals.
Yes.
Again, worth your time.
And I think after the wall fell in 1990, they invited artists from all over the world. So they came and they painted their art on the wall. So there are, I think, 3 pieces of the wall where they repainted white. So people come there and write their names and like do their own artwork on it. So yeah,
It's very cool.
that's
It's
so
neat to
Berlin.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Mr. Foodie, let's dive into food. There's
Uh-huh.
specifically for Berlin. What are some of your must-try dishes when someone gets there?
Specifically for Berlin, I would say there are 2 things which everyone has to try it. And I took you to both the places. So Döner and sausage wurst.
Yeah.
So both these things are a must try when you come to Berlin. So I mean, Döner, I think there are an unbelievable number of good places in the city. So so find someone who's really good in your locality, and then like you're set. So whenever you're coming home late in the morning, he'll still be there. So he'll be your best friend, giving you the best food.
yes. Great spot for a night out
Hello.
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my
So
friend
so
waving
good.
from. I think joining from the southern part of Germany. So
Oh,
that was
nice. Heck yeah. And then, so you said doner and then sausage, yeah?
sausages, wurst. So there are different kinds of wurst. So they kind of fry it. So that's bratwurst. There's also uh, uh, currywurst,
I was gonna
where
say
it's
currywurst is kind
special.
of a
It's special to Berlin. So you
yes.
get it with the curry sauce and like some kind of powder on it. And hey, Tommy. So there's another friend joining in. Hey, yeah.
But yeah,
So
currywurst as well. You'll
currywurst,
find that. I
and
mean,
then
you'll
of
find that
course
almost
And then,
every.
of course, potatoes, like in all forms and kinds, like fries, you get wedges, you get mashed potatoes, you get boiled potatoes, you can get fried potatoes, and probably, yeah, mashed potatoes, which are then coated in breadcrumbs and then fried. So, like,
Wow.
I mean, you have potatoes, like you can eat as much as you want.
No, for
So,
real. And since they have such a good nightlife, of course they're gonna have very good night food to help
uh-huh,
you with those
of course.
hangovers. So lots of
And
places
of
stay.
course, I wanna do a plug here. Like my fried chicken is also really good. So yeah.
Yes, if you're lucky enough to stay with him, my goodness, he crushes it in the kitchen. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
very 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 good stuff. One of these days, you need to open up a restaurant, man. You would absolutely crush it. Are there any weird foods that you have
Of course,
found?
of course. Like once I was at a birthday party, and they brought a plate full of ground raw pork. Like it was raw ground pork, and
Raw pork?
yes, raw ground pork, and it's called met.
Uh huh.
And it's kind of they make it into different uh, shapes. So like form it into different shapes, and I saw it in the form of a hamster. Like I'm like, how do they eat this? And he was like, no, you just put it on bread and you eat it. Like
Raw.
no,
They
raw
eat it
pork. It's
raw.
called met. Yeah,
What the heck? Pork is
yeah.
raw. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I mean, things before butterfly. And what else? What is it? So that's so that like, is that just a typical Germany dish? I mean, like,
Yeah, it's kind of famous here. So I was super surprised when the my friend offered me that. I was like, no, I'm not going to eat that. So thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
fascinating.
and yeah, then there's another thing which I have not tried, but I've heard my friend talk about it. So it's called Milbenkäse.
Hmm.
So Käse is cheese, and Milbe is mite. So like these are mites which are feeding on the cheese, and then the digestive what's it called? The digestive liquid they ooze ferments
Yeah,
this whatever's left, and then people eat the cheese with the mites in it. So this
weird.
what yeah. You asked me for weird.
No, exactly. You nailed it, man. You nailed it. Like, is that how do they eat it straight up? I mean, are you gonna put it on crackers and serve it up? I mean, is it?
See, she's writing Metigal was a big thing in the 80s. Looks like a
Looks like
hedgehog and pork and beef mixed. And
that
it's
is
raw. And
odd.
it's raw minced meat. So
Yeah, yeah, that is fascinating. Great, great ones, man. Good find. Very good find. Very strange foods. Clearly, we've missed those. So, round three in Berlin, we're gonna have to
uh-huh.
try at least
Yes,
one of
yes. I will be waiting for you.
them. Yeah, I am in.
And
I am
and
in.
thank
So,
you, Tommy. Thank you, Tommy, for the kind words about my chicken.
yes. So, you moved there 3 years ago. Did you? What kind of stereotypes did you have in your head when you got to Germany? What have held up true, and what have been false?
I mean, moving to Germany was kind of a long-term dream. So I had worked with Germans earlier, so I kind of knew what the stereotypes were. So I mean, where I worked, they had put us through intercultural training, so that like we kind of know what to expect and what to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
So one stereotype I would say is rules. Like there's a saying, "Ordnung muss sein." So that means you must follow rules. Like rules must be followed, and I think people definitely follow all rules. Like I mean, yes, Berlin is kind of like an island where people don't really care about rules, but like in the other parts of Germany, I think people really religiously follow rules.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, if the Olympics had kind of like a competition where for garbage sorting, I think Germany would win gold, silver, and bronze in that.
Wow, the
So
way they sort how so like as in the way they recycle or sort the in what
yeah,
sense?
everything is sorted. Like they um, people religiously do that, and yeah, so it's like paper has to go into like the paper bin, and sometimes I mix them.
Oh, not following the rules, man. Come on, you had that culture training.
Yeah, yeah, I'm converting. I'm slowly getting there. So
Oh man, how
yeah,
about this?
so these are some stereotypes which are like true. So
Mhm.
I've heard this, and I know that this is the right thing. But yeah, stereotypes that are not true. Like a lot of people, when they think about Germany, they think about lederhosen and dental. So
Yeah,
the typical dress which they think which is associated with Oktoberfest,
right.
and I would say that's not really typical Germany. So that's everyone thinks, oh, German, like with the beer, like a really big beer, wearing a lederhosen,
Yeah.
and then like no, that's not really German. So it's typical alpine wear from the
Mhm.
mountains.
Yep.
So I think it's from Austria, South Tyrol, and like Bavaria. So it's from these parts. So you know, and also everyone thinks Oktoberfest happens in October. It's not really. It happens in October.
True.
Oktoberfest starts 2 weeks before the first Sunday in October and ends on the first Sunday in October. So it really
Yeah.
doesn't
It's good to
happen.
know because people, it's funny. People will be like, "Oh, let's go to Oktoberfest." If they don't look at the
And then
flights, they don't look at the
there's
date,
no Oktoberfest.
they'll literally show up and miss it. Guys, Oktoberfest. If you want to see Lederhosen, you will see a lot of people there. And
And people
Oktoberfest,
throwing up. So
yes, yeah, yeah. Oktoberfest is insane. It is probably one of the biggest parties in Europe you can see. I was surprised that there were actual like rides. I was shocked. I really wasn't expecting. It's almost like like a state fair in the United States. You've got the massive ride. You got a section of rides that everyone loves, but then the tents, which sometimes are filled with animals in the United States, it's all beer and it's good beer, and it's very, very big beers that you see in the movies. It is
hmm
pretty realistic how some of these films portray
I
Oktoberfest
think
because
I think
Oktoberfest can be
the beers are called Mass, and they are
mm,
1 liter each. And I know people, like I had friends who went there at 10 a.m., like queuing up at that time and then getting drunk all throughout the day. So,
that's the
and
way to
yes,
do it.
speaking about drinking in Germany is legal. So you can drink outside, like you don't
Anywhere.
have to hide it
That's
anywhere.
yes.
Yes, you don't have to hide it like in a paper cover or something. So, yeah, you can sit around drinking anywhere.
Yeah, guys, Oktoberfest, it's a buck. Even if you don't drink, it's still worth going to see. It's great people watching. You'll meet people from all over the world. Book way in advance because hotels, everything do sell out. But it's awesome. And Munich's a great city as well. Munich, even if you don't go to Oktoberfest, check out Munich on your way through Germany. It's a beautiful spot to be.
hmm
So, what's been actually one more stereotype? One is Germans are always on time. Do you agree or disagree?
Um, I kind of agree, but the stereotype that like they're gonna be there. Oh, looking. Oh, you're late. You're late. 10 seconds late or something.
Yeah.
No, that is not. That's not really true. So they do
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There
come
are
there.
a few like that, but Germans, for the most
I
part,
mean, every country has a few like that.
they're
So
on time. It's impressive. Yeah, I mean the
every country has
travelers
a
I've
few like
met.
that. And one more thing is they think the public transport has no delays whatsoever. Like any train. Of course, there are delays in the trains and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
people when you come to Germany, don't think that everything's going to be on time. So it
Right.
will
If
be
you
on
want,
time most of the time, but like
was it?
there might be delays.
If you want a metro that's like always on time within 60 seconds, you go to Japan. Japan has very, very, very. When you
Uh-huh.
talk about efficiency, Japan's going to be the place to see. But still, Like it's the metro system in Berlin is phenomenal, very easy to get around. You do not need a car. Super easy to get around the city.
Yeah.
So Raj, all right, let's dive into what's been your favorite thing about Germany?
Favorite thing about Germany? If I have to put it into one sentence, I can be myself and I can do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So without the fear of being judged or something, people don't really say, "Oh, why are you doing this? You should be doing that." Or, of course, if you're doing something that's not in the rules, yes, of course,
Then I'll
they'll
let you
tell
know.
you. Yes, but if you're if you're not doing anything that's breaking the law or something, I don't think people really try to judge you for what you do. And yeah, being in Berlin multiplies this factor because Berlin is kind of like an island, as I already told you. So
Yep, yep.
yeah,
And
so
okay, let's get deep here because here's my theory on why that is. Germans are everywhere. And I've said this in the last episode. Because we were talking to Sophie in Paraguay, how there's a German
mhm,
colony in Paraguay. The
mhm,
Germans and the Dutch are the two best traveled countries in the world, in my opinion. You find
mhm,
them everywhere. Of the 100 plus countries I've been to, I've always met a German. No, no joke. I mean, they're everywhere. And so I think part of that is they do embrace differences rather than fear them. And that's something
yeah,
I do love about Germans is because they truly have that global mindset because they do travel. You know,
yeah,
it's part like everyone, uh, damn near everyone in Germany is going to take a gap year, which I wish was more popular across the United States. It's very frowned upon in the United States, right? You're supposed to school, study, work, retire, then travel.
yeah.
So I think that's
I
part of
mean,
it. And more so in
I,
Berlin, as you said, it's a bubble. It's a super liberal city, and so
yes,
everybody loves each other. It's a very neat part of Germany.
like no, I mean, yes, there are bad eggs in
Of
the
course, there's
basket,
always
but
outliers. Right, right.
yeah, so leaving out all those things, like, I mean, everyone accepts what you are, and nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, no, why do you want to do that? Like, why shouldn't you should, no, you're not supposed to do that, you should be doing this or something. So yeah, it's kind of like, I really find it nice, and
No, I totally agree.
stimulating
That's a
to live
great
here.
answer.
And yeah, it's kind of like, I'm doing what I want, and I'm happy doing it. So it's kind of nice.
No, exactly. Berlin's a must see spot for sure. For
Yes,
sure.
of
All
course,
right.
of course.
One more question for you.
uh
What's one fact about Berlin that would surprise people?
I mean, I'm gonna talk about Germany as a whole.
Germany.
So, yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna talk about Germany as a whole, because Berlin facts about Berlin might be like too local, and not everyone might get it. So,
Let's do
you know,
Germany. That's
yeah,
fine.
as I already said, drinking is legal in public, so you can drink as much as you want. I mean, yes. So nobody's gonna be like, oh, hey, here's a citation for you, and where's your ID or something? Yes, of course. So if you're too young, don't drink. But like, if you're over the legal age, yes, you sit around drinking. Nobody's gonna
I mean,
bother you.
technically, what is the legal drinking age in Germany? It's quite low, isn't it?
I think you are allowed to drink beer from 16. So
Yeah,
I
quite young.
think
Even
I,
younger if at home. Yeah, and it just yeah, it'd be
I don't
interesting.
know. I don't know about home, but
Yeah.
I think at 16 you're allowed to drink beer.
Okay.
Uh, so if you have any plans of having a kid in Germany and then want to name them like really weird names, the government can and will reject the names when they're
That's
registering.
right. That's right. Yes. There's literally a list of names you kind of have to pick from, right?
Uh-huh.
That is wild. Yes. That is a great weird fact. That is
So
so
the
surprising.
the Standesamt, they literally have a book which they actually refer to the names, and if they don't find the names, and if it's from a different culture, for example, from a different country, they actually contact the embassy to ask if this is a okay name for a girl child or a boy child. So
Come on. That's so crazy.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. I wonder. Well, they're all rule followers, so they want to break it. But it'd be interesting to see like how many people a year in Germany try to name their kids names that
I
aren't in
mean,
that book.
you can try naming your kid differently, but if for the application you have to pay for it, and if they reject you, you have to pay again and apply again. So it's a matter
Whoa.
of like like
Yeah.
okay, how much money you want to spend trying to
To
name.
get a certain yeah. That's a great fact. Fascinating. So yeah, you got to pick wisely in Germany unless you want to
Uh-huh.
spend
I
some
I know a
serious.
lot of Maximilians. I know a lot of Thomas Müller. So
Yep.
it's Michael. So it's a lot of the same names.
Oh man, too good. Eddie, do you have any other surprising facts? I think that one takes the cake.
That yeah. I mean I can't think of much
I don't think that
else.
one will. I don't think you can top that one. The list of
I
names.
don't think of
Must.
I can't think of much else right now. So
Yeah. Well, Raj, thanks, man. I tell you, what, it's always so good to see you. It's been way
yeah,
too long.
it was really great to see you too as
And
well.
stay safe in
Come
Germany.
back, come back.
Oh,
When
come on, man. I'm already, like I said, you're the only one I've stayed with twice. I'll be back, 100%. You
of
always show us
course,
a great time.
looking
Last
forward.
visit was way too quick, but I'm glad you got to meet Katie. And next time in Berlin, now
Of
we'll
course,
we'll have fun.
yes.
I hate to break it to you, it's gonna be summer, right? I'm not a big winter fan. I don't know if I want to experience Berlin in winter, but yeah, one of these summers we'll be
I
back.
don't think Berlin winters are that bad anymore. In 2017 and 18, like I really struggled
Yeah,
to cope with the winter, but last year, I don't think it was that
they're
bad. So
mildly well. Also, so it's well, that's great. So global warming is working in favor of Berlin, right? So
yeah, it snowed last week. Like the first snow in Berlin was last week.
wow, last week.
Yes,
That's late, huh?
last week. Yes, that late.
Weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it should be warming up hopefully sooner rather than later for you guys. The
Yeah, it's kind of I think this week's gonna be like 18, 20 degrees. So it's kind
yeah,
of I turned on all my heaters at the home.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, preparing for summer and
there you go.
spring. Yeah.
Heck yeah, fun
And your
time,
mom said
best
thanks
time to
for
do it.
being so nice to you and Katie. My pleasure. I'll
She's
do that
she's. I can't
a
wait.
lot
You're
many
gonna
more
meet her.
times.
No doubt in my mind. Just
Of
like I
course.
need to meet your mom and your sister. One of these days, all our
Definitely,
families will meet.
definitely.
We'll have to make that
We
happen.
we got we shall plan that. Yes.
Yeah. But man, I tell you what, thanks so much for taking the time. What is one final thing? What is your message to the world? What would you like to say?
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And yeah, don't go. Don't try to. I mean, maybe you already have the virus, but you don't have any symptoms, and maybe others are not that privileged. Um, so or healthy, so they get the virus and they get into complications. So just try to stay home until all this fights over.
Let's end this. Let's
And
end this so we can
same,
all get back to traveling the world. Now
yes,
that's perfect. Guys, with that, that's the end of episode in Berlin, Germany. Seriously, what a great spot. Add it to your list. It is such a fun
uh
city.
huh.
I mean,
And
seriously,
I
so
can and hit me up if you need the map.
he means it. Yes. Slide into his DMs. You want the map of the restaurants you want to see. We'll have
And if you need if you're bored sitting at home, I host games on YouTube so people can join and you just need
hey,
a YouTube and your phone to play and so that would be
boom.
awesome to
I'm gonna have to
do
get
it.
in on that action, guys. So the next
Yes.
couple episodes. So real quick. So that's the end. Episode 30. That's so I can't believe we're cruising through so many countries in roughly 12 hours. We're headed back to Central America. Going to take you to Mexico City, Mexico, to see what's going on there. Mexico, very similar to the United States, kind of denied, didn't want to think about what was going on. So
Uh
it's going
huh.
to be interesting to see what the situation is like there. And then in roughly 24 hours, we're going to be headed back to the Balkans, going to talk to one of my friends in Albania. She is an expat. She's teaching there. I believe she's
Uh-huh.
teaching. We'll find out tomorrow. But Albania is another hidden gem in
Yeah.
Eastern Europe that
Yeah.
not many people know about. So with that, please stay at home. Please wash your hands and stay inside. Stay at
Don't
home.
touch it.
Stay inside. Wash your hands. There we go. And guys, seriously, let's end
Uh-huh.
this virus because this is day whatever, depending on what country you're
Yeah.
in. But I'm sick of being stuck inside, and I'm ready to get back to travel to see amazing people like this guy and amazing people like you watching around the world. So with that, stay safe. And Raj, please
Was
say
really
your
nice
best here.
talking to you. And yeah,
I look forward
so
to it.
keep
Tell
in
your
touch.
mom and sister I said hello, send them my love, and I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
regards to your
seeing
family
you.
as well.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks so much.
Take care.